Welcome back to Super J Recap. I'm Kyle. I'm joined once again by Shane.
Hi, I'm Shane.
You go up. You go up, not down. Not that far. You're too tall anyway.
I'm showing Krang. I've got Krang on the shirt. See Krang.
Nice. So we are going over for this match the first round matchup of the 1995 Super J Cup. Shinjiro Otani taking on Masaaki Mochizuki. Mochizuki was representing War, so he was at his own promotion. Shinjiro Otani was representing New Japan Pro Wrestling for a couple more years at least before he leaves. This match, like, we were watching it together, and even just from the start, it was like, oh, this is a much better paced match than the previous.
Right into a running enziguri right at the beginning.
Yeah, it was like running and kick right at the
kick right at the beginning, right?
Yeah, it was like a running knee, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, Mochizuki, who part of the story of this was Mochizuki's pretty new, so like he's very much taking it to the veteran of Otani. And Otani was definitely one of those guys who kind of had that reputation of, he's going to, beat the crap out of you if you step up to him too much. And that's what he did.
So Mochizuki was not Ryu.
Okay,
and Otani was not Zack Sabre Jr., right?
The best part about that, you didn't know that I literally have in my notes. Love that Mochizuki is wearing a gi and looks like Ryu.
Good.
Great minds think alike.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like super stiff kicks, back and forth. I loved the Otani catching the one kick and then just kicking his leg right underneath him, and then going in for the leg lock, which, Otani has a bit of a reputation as well currently because he still wrestles of, slowing things down way too much.
Yeah.
And so every time he locks in a leg lock, I'm like, please don't go too long in this, please. And it was like just the right amount.
Well, there was a nice spot at the beginning there where not Ryu went for the leg lock, and then Otani rolled him, and then it reversed it into the other leg lock. But luckily, they were right by the rope, so they could end it right away. So it just kept things moving. And that was nice about this match, is that it was only a few minutes long. But
yeah, it's like 4 minutes long. Yeah, it's 4 minutes long. It's kick. The run up enziguri, which I've never seen really before, and so much that as I was watching this, I literally took a little video and sent it to our mutual friend Scott Story, being like, dude, you need to steal this move. And so it was super fun, and Otani, even though he's got the reputation of being a little lazy now, like 90s Otani, you can see why he eventually was the junior ace of his promotion in the early 2000s. Is like, he's good, like he can go. And so yeah, he does the springboard drop kick. There was an axe. The finish was, there was an axe kick by Mochizuki, which kind of grazed his Otani, and then a drop kick to the knee by Otani, then a springboard drop kick to the knee, then he locked in the leg lock to submit Mochizuki.
And he was working on the leg throughout. There was a couple lazy, bad-looking kicks to that leg early on, but it as things sped up, you could see that. You could tell it was almost like Otani was starting to be like, oh yeah, this guy can go a little bit more, so I can start to go a little bit more. And as it sped up a little bit in the last, like I said, only a few minute match, the last 2 minutes of the match, everything was go, and it was like they were both into it, which was really cool. So it was refreshing in comparison to Crab Boy versus Not Vampiro.
Yes. And actually, here's a segment that I think I'll actually start here. So of the person who won, would you be interested in watching more of their matches of Otani?
Otani?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I'd probably watch. I'd be maybe more interested in watching not Ryu because just from that snippet, because he was the one that looked like he was trying harder throughout that match and things, and he was the one that had two different moves where I was just like, oh, cool. While Otani was he was solid, but seemed kind of lazy at the start, and so I would be a little iffy about Otani at times. I think, but I'd probably watch both of these guys' matches again.
In each episode, to the opposite end of that, I then recap and see, what have they done since. And
Where are they now? Are they still out there wrestling,
they
fighting
are.
some boys?
In Mochizuki's case, he is. He is actually out there still wrestling. Mochizuki continued with War, and eventually won 6-man titles and tag team titles. But then in late 90s, early 2000s, he ended up joining Ultimo Dragon in Toryumon. And as most wrestling people know, Toryumon then eventually, once everybody from Toryumon got sick of Ultimo Dragon, they then became Dragon Gate. And Mochizuki is still in Dragon Gate and has won multiple titles since. He's actually won an FIP title in the US when they were doing Dragon Gate USA. And he's now splitting his time between Dragon Gate and Pro Wrestling Noah, since they are owned by the same parent company.
Very nice.
So Shane, what are your plugs?
So I recommend checking out some podcasts that I've done in the past. Character Work is a comedy one. Always timeless. You can listen to comedy anytime. Go back, go listen to those episodes. And then I've got Fantasy Hangover, football podcast. Obviously, not a lot of football going on right now, but we're hoping to get a few episodes out. Maybe some episodes this year. It really depends on if it's really worth going. But those can both be found on SoundCloud and Stitcher.
All right. Thank you so much. And make sure check out all my stuff. Like and subscribe on the YouTube channel, and check me out at Knocked Out Films on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.